Welcome to the RMCC compliance update for March 2022 in the Midwest region. You're going to notice it's a bit different this month. I am switching up the compliance updates to be more of a podcast style, so feel free to subscribe to YouTube or sign up for the compliance newsletter so that way you are first to be notified when these videos drop. In Illinois, regulatory consolidation bill quietly introduced with administration fingerprints all over it. A 379-page bill to consolidate Illinois' cannabis oversight from multiple agencies into one agency, the Cannabis Equity and Oversight Commission, was introduced by a member of Democratic House leadership last week. After weeks of lobbying and briefings from legislators and stakeholders by the state's chief regulator. Introduced by State Rep and House Assistant Majority Leader Marcus Evans, a Black Caucus member that has worked on behalf of the cannabis industry interests in the past, the bill would create a commission similar to the structure in New York and New Jersey's commissions and gather staff and oversight functions currently overseen by the Illinois Department of Agriculture, Financial and Provisional Regulations, Public Health, and the State Police. Another update out of Illinois. Illinois judge steps towards allowing regulators to award 60-plus craft grow licenses. So from the article, 60 new Illinois craft grow licenses may be finally awarded in the coming weeks, as an Illinois judge took substantial steps last week to lift holds barring the state from awarding those licenses. The moves were a part of the state's consolidated craft grow super case, into which the state Supreme Court aggregated a series of complaints before the Sangamon County Circuit Court. As part of Thursday's hearing, Judge Knoll ordered the state to process applications for 4 craft grow applicants and affirmed the state's decision to disqualify 1 applicant. The state of the losing applicant, IAGP LLC, also included an injunction placed in November that restricts the state from announcing craft grow license winners. Judge Knoll anticipated that IAGP LLC may decide to appeal her decision, gave attorneys for the applicant and others until noon today to file briefs for and against lifting the injunction. Judge Knoll has issued her own stay on issuing licenses, but she plans to lift that stay today, she said in a court on Thursday. Previously, Illinois regulators have announced their intention to announce 60 more craft grow license winners by last December 2021. The state allows state regulators to issue up to 150 total licenses after January 1st, 2022, after last August 40 licenses, and the 60 licenses currently held up that allow another 50. Therefore, the state has latitude to issue additional licenses, such as those granted the right to have their applications reviewed by Judge Knoll, allowing the award process to move forward. In Michigan, so I'm actually just going to read this straight from my email because it was an email that came through from the MRA. So on March 4th, 2022, in an effort to continue stimulating business growth while preserving safe consumer access to marijuana, the MRA has updated the administrative rule sets effective Monday, March 7th, 2022. As a result, there will be numerous changes occurring on the website and to the forms, applications, and various publications. Highlights of the rules and process changes are noted below in the email titled MRA Implements New Administrative Rule Set. Licensed applicants are advised that the applications, step-by-step instructions, and other educational resources that were previously available on MRA website for adult use establishments and medical marijuana facilities are being updated to comply with the updated rule set. Additionally, the MRA advisory and technical bulletins are being updated as applicable. Applicants and licensees are encouraged to obtain applications and forms directly from the website to ensure they are using the most up-to-date materials. Previous versions of the medical and adult use applications will not be accepted. To ensure applications are processed as quickly and efficiently as possible, applicants are encouraged to submit applications through the online application portal and which is Excella Citizen Access, ACA. ACA is also being updated to be consistent with the updated rule sets and mirror the changes made to the paper applications. All right, another update out of Michigan. So from the email titled Governor Whitmer's Executive Reorganization Order, on February 11, 2022, Governor Whitmer signed Executive Reorganization Order 2022-1, assigning the regulation of processing, distributing, and selling hemp to the soon-to-be renamed Marijuana Regulatory Agency, MRA. On April 13, 2022, the ERO will be in effect and the MRA will become the Cannabis Regulatory Agency, CRA. On this date, authority over hemp processors and handlers under the Industry Hemp Research and Development Act will shift to the new CRA. The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development currently regulates hemp and will continue to oversee hemp cultivation after the ERO goes into effect. At this time, the MRA has no plans to make changes that would materially affect the operations of hemp processors and will proactively communicate with licensees if they were to change. Making moves, hemp and cannabis under one regulating body. About time. Good work, Michigan. All right, we got another one out of Michigan, and again, this is just from the email, so I highly recommend that you sign up for MRA's email list. They're always sending out some really great things. So the email is titled Public Notice Announcement and Request for Comment. So from the email, the MRA will hold a public meeting on Thursday, March 10th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. For meeting information, please see the public notice announcement in this email. The purpose of this public meeting is to hear complaints and receive the views of the public on MRA's administration of the authorities, powers, duties, functions, and responsibilities under Michigan's marijuana laws. Specifically, the MRA is seeking public input for the following topics. If cannabis or cannabis product fails the MRA regulatory compliance testing, business must either complete the process of remediation or destroy the product. Remediation is the process in which a business corrects something undesirable or deficient in their product. Should businesses be required to notify consumers if products have been remediated? If so, by which method should consumers be notified? Which products should be included in the remediation notification process? What processes of remediation should require consumer notification, if any? Should products that have not failed a safety compliance test but have been exposed to a remediation method require identification? While the public hearing will be held in person, members of the public will also have the opportunity to attend, participate, and give public testimony via Zoom. The MRA encourages members of the public to participate and provide recommendations in the agency. As we know, there's a lot happening in Michigan right now with this massive recall and the remediation process and everything happening there. So I think this is really great that the MRA is reaching out for public comment and wants feedback from the industry. Alrighty, and our last one out of Michigan. All right, and this piggybacks right off of the last update in Michigan about the public comment period. So, Michigan operators questioning testing systems integrity after confusion surrounding Michigan November recall. So from the article, confusion still reigns for many Michigan cannabis operators as a result of last November's recall. Seemingly conflicted explanations for a split decision on which locations the recall impacts, a strong PR campaign from Veritas Labs, the company targeted by the recall, and a recent expose published by MLive finding that some cannabis products that failed testing were allowed to be sold anyway, has frustrated and befuddled cannabis operators across the state trying to navigate some of the strictest testing rules in the nation. Yeah, they're strict, but I think there's some other states that are pretty strict too. And also, I saw another article talking about Metric and Track and Trace and how they weren't actually able to track all of these things within Metric. And this is actually something that I dealt with back in 2015, 2016, and something that I teach all of our certification students, that yes, Metric is a tracking system. However, when it comes to product recalls, sometimes not everything is flagged, especially when you are dealing with production batches and creating new tags and things like that. And so, yeah, you have to have an additional layer of safety nets and security and record retention and all of these workflows to truly be able to validate and see where this recalled product is. nothing new in my book, but it was pretty interesting to see this article, bashing Metric being a tracking system, which I get, and not being able to actually track the recalled product. However, there are certain functionality within the system, like production batches, that wipe out the entire test results, so you can't even track it. When a recall happens. So if you want to learn more information about that, our certification program will be opening up in April again for applications, and you can learn my entire method on making sure that you have those safety nets within your operation to ensure that you don't get into a sticky situation like a lot of these Michigan operators have. Alrighty, we got 2 more updates. One out of Minnesota. So Minnesota's medicinal cannabis program now includes smokable cannabis. About time, because why wouldn't you be able to smoke your weed? Minnesotans enrolled in the state's medical marijuana program can buy smokable cannabis as of Tuesday. And why it matters. The change approved by lawmakers last year marks a significant expansion of Minnesota's medicinal marijuana law, which is fairly restrictive compared to other states. You wouldn't say. All right, and the last update out of the Midwest is in South Dakota. So, Metric lands South Dakota contract. Interesting. Second Metric contract landed in the updates this month, officially in New Jersey and now in South Dakota. So, from the article, Metric, a provider of cannabis regulatory systems, has announced a new contract with the state of South Dakota to support the regulation of state's medical cannabis market. The deal is the company's 20th government contract to date. So in the Northeastern update, it was actually at 18. So we now have, I don't know what the 19th one is, so we'll find out. Metric's track and trace platform will help facilitate the South Dakota medical cannabis program data collection and regulatory oversight, enabling licensed operators to track all activities impacting the status of a plant or creation of cannabis-based products, which, yes, to a certain degree, but we actually just went over how that can be a problem. Alrighty. And that is your update for March 2022 in the Midwestern region.